Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Fish Report Live. It is Wednesday night, October 24th. That's Ken Francis. I'm Craig Fissinger. We've got TK and Heavy D back in the sound room again. And Ken, you know it's a good feeling when you go into the last weekend of October and your favorite high school sports teams are still playing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it's been a great season for fall sports for Russia, especially the golf team, boys golf team won the Shelby County League championship. The girls volleyball team is off to a fantastic start in the postseason. They're at 21-3 right now, and they'll be playing in the district finals this weekend. And the cross-country teams, the girls and the boys both, capturing Shelby County League championships, district championships, and they're going for regional championships this week and a berth in the state championship the following week. So been a great fall for Russia sports.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to this weekend, and we have a couple big interviews tonight too, don't we?
We do. We've got Russia head volleyball coach Todd Wion on an interview, and also the head coach of the number one ranked team in the state, the Minster Lady Wildcat cross-country team, head coach Jessie Magoto.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that live interview. All that program is done over there is win 9 girls state titles, and I tell you what, if they want to go for a 10th, they're going to have their hands full this weekend. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I noticed we got another hat here this week. Got a funny looking old hat with a funny looking L on it. What's that all about?
Well, we had somebody send us this hat actually to represent Fort Loramie football. So Fort Loramie has secured a spot in the playoffs again. And so congratulations to the Redskins, and good luck to them in the postseason.
Yeah, we went back at the beginning of the season. I think it might have been our first show. We actually went to Fort Loramie, talked to the coach and the star quarterback over there, and had a lot of fun. So rooting for them here in the postseason. Our weekly trivia question. Last week, I'm still kicking myself, Ken. Didn't get that easy trivia question. Tri-Village was the answer. We had a Tri-Village guest on there, so I'm ready to get tonight's. What do you got?
Tonight's trivia question is this, Craig, and we're going back to cross country again because it is that kind of season.
All right.
And who is the only MAC boys cross country team to win a state championship? Who is the only MAC boys cross country team to win a state championship?
Only one?
There's only one. It's only happened one time. You know, Minster girls have won it many times.
Yeah, sure.
Only one time in MAC history have a boys team won state. Is it A, Coldwater, B, Fort Recovery, or C, Parkway?
Fort Recovery, Coldwater, Parkway.
Those are your options.
All right, at least I got 3 choices. All right, I will think that over here for the next 25 minutes, and I'll give you an answer here in a little bit. So, all right, Ken, well, let's start out our coverage tonight talking about volleyball. And before we get to our volleyball talk, I guess I want to bring up something from last week. We had Versailles coach Carla Oddie on here, and they went into Saturday's sectional final game against Anna. They were the favored team, and they got upset. And I'm concerned that maybe I put the Fish Report jinx on them. Let me ask the guys back there in the sound room, TK and Heavy D, any chance that I jinxed the Versailles Tigers last weekend?
You might have done that. They had sophomore star Lauren Bruns go down with an emergency appendectomy. And you know what? Even though I don't think we're going to need it, I'm going to throw a big Heavy D hex out to the Lehman Cavaliers.
Well, if we had the coach on here, we might have jinxed them too, but that's not the case. So, I was a little worried I might have put the jinx on them, but it sounds like losing one of their stars was probably the bigger reason for that.
And take nothing away from the Anna Lady Rockets. They played a superb volleyball game. They had a good game plan, and they just flat out beat Versailles.
Yeah, they sure did. Well, it's district week, Ken. We got a big week in district volleyball games coming up. Why don't you give us a little rundown of what's going on the next several days?
Well, the big game Thursday night, the only game in Division 4's district finals, pits 2 MAC schools. Marion Local, ranked number 1 in the state. They're taking on the defending state champion St. Henry Redskins. Both teams come in at 21-3. That game will be played at Van Wert High School tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Saturday, there'll be 3 games, all taking place at Troy High School. Jackson Center will take on Cincinnati's Seven Hills. Russia and Lehman Catholic will do battle, and we'll hear more about that game later. And Fort Loramie will take on Southeastern. So 3 big games there. All 3 of those winners will advance on to the Tip City Regional, along with the winner of Thursday night's MAC contest. So, we very easily could have 3 Shelby County League teams and 1 MAC team battling for the right to go to Columbus. To go to state, which is actually in Dayton. So, and Saturday, Division III championship for the district, the Anna Rockets will take on Cincinnati Christian.
All right, well, speaking of that Russia-Lehman game, I got a chance last night to talk to the head coach of the Raiders, Todd Wion, on the phone. And why don't we check out and see what he had to say about the big game, his season and the big game coming up this Saturday.
Coach Wion, congratulations on what's been an outstanding season so far. Your Lady Raiders are 22-3 on the season. You're ranked number 14th in the latest state coaches poll, and you just won the sectional championship this past Saturday. When you looked at your roster and your schedule this past summer, what were your expectations with this team?
Well, Craig, I always have high expectations for the girls, and in turn, they have high expectations for themselves. Our goal is always to win league and go undefeated. I've always believed when they play their best, no one can beat them. And there's no one we can't win against when they play their best. And the girls believe that too. And, it doesn't matter what your record is at sectional time. It's a one-game season.
Last week on our show, Ken and I interviewed Versailles coach Carla Oddie, and she commented how cool it was that with the class sizes that Russia has, how you can take such a small pool of girls and put together such a high-quality volleyball program. I want to ask you what you attribute that to, because I personally watched some volleyball this season from some much bigger schools than Russia and that aren't near as competitive as your team. So what do you attribute such a small pool of girls, like Coach Oddie said, and putting together such a high-quality program?
Well, Craig, a lot of people don't realize that Russia, by numbers, is the 5th smallest school in the state of Ohio. We have 50 girls in the high school and 32 playing volleyball. And I'd also like to mention our girls' golf team had an excellent season. Our girls' cross-country team are having a lot of success this year, and they are really awesome, and they'll be going to state, I'm sure. And, just our girls' program and boys, we just have a lot of success here at Russia. We've got a lot of good athletes, and, we just need coaches to put them all on the right page and to have that success. And we have good elementary coaches. We have junior high feeder programs, and those coaches are all on the same page as varsity coaches, and that is what helps build programs over a period of years.
All right. Now, the Raiders got through the sectional tournament without a loss, Coach, going 3-0 in their games. You've got the district coming up this Saturday. I imagine it gets a little bit more competitive at this point. I want to ask you what your expectations are for your girls to be able to compete at the district level now.
Here again, it's a one-game season when you get into sectionals, and now districts, any loss is going to knock somebody out. Right now, there's 32 teams left in the state. You win district, you're down to 16, and then you move on from there. But, you just have to practice hard, prepare to win. You can't not prepare. So, you just have to prepare, have the right mindset, and hopefully play well when that day comes.
And I'm guessing, and in the sectional, Coach, some of those games where maybe you could get away with a mistake or two is probably not going to be able to get away with those at this level?
No, we will not be able to get away with those against Lehman on Saturday. We're going to have to play our best. All
right. I guess I'll ask you, where are you playing this match, and what time is it being played if fans want to come out and watch?
It'll be this Saturday, October 27th, at Troy High School at 3:30 p.m.
That makes it awful easy for the cross-country fans across the road there then to come over and watch a volleyball game, doesn't it?
Sure does. Sure does. Last year it was kind of in reverse. We played, and then we went over and watched cross run, where this year, they'll run, and then hopefully they'll come over and support us.
And that was Russia Raider head volleyball coach Todd Wion. Ken, I was kind of hoping to get Coach Wion on the show tonight live, but I understand it's his actually his 30th wedding anniversary he's celebrating tonight. I think it was actually last night, but he had a volleyball scrimmage, and I guess such is the life of a volleyball coach.
That's right.
So, any comments on that Russia Lehman matchup coming up this Saturday?
Well, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Russia and Lehman don't play during the regular season against each other, so this will be the first time in years, actually, that these two teams have squared off. And we don't make a whole lot of predictions, Craig, but and I have to admit I'm not the brightest guy when it comes to volleyball, okay? But I do know how to watch scores and see how teams have played versus other teams similar to each other on the same schedule.
Okay.
Russia beats Lehman 3-1. District champs, Russia Raiders.
3-1. All right, good call. I'll go with that. I'll back you on that prediction.
All right.
So I don't know about these guys in the studio back there. They probably don't want to say a whole lot, but they got some more connections than we have to the volleyball program. But let's go back to the sound room. TK and Heavy D, you guys have any comments on any of the other matchups?
Yeah, just looking at the Southwest District, Craig and Ken, everybody that we expected to move on has moved on, and moving up north a little bit, looking at that Marion local St. Henry matchup coming up, you've got the St. Henry defending number one team in the state, champions, going against the new number one team in the state, Marion local. They met back on September 18th at St. Henry. Marion won that in 4 games, and something special coming up here. Marion local senior middle hitter Josie Winter, who suffered a broken foot at the beginning of the season against Lehman, has returned in limited action last night against Ottoville. And she's got a full ride to Eastern Pennsylvania to play volleyball on a scholarship, and that'll be a nice addition back for them.
You know, guys, that Marion Local's Claire Heitkamp was actually the MAC Player of the Year, which is a pretty nice honor. But I've been told that Josie Winter might actually be the best player on that team. So any other matchups you want to comment on?
Yeah, Craig, you mentioned the Anna win over Versailles, and that pits them now this weekend against, as you mentioned before, Cincinnati Christian. So this season, Anna finished 4th in the SCL like they did last year. They upset Versailles in the sectional finals like last year, and now they're going to play Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy in the district final again like last year.
I guess that begs the question then, how did they do against Cincinnati Christian last year?
Well, Craig, they went on and won that game, and then they moved on to the regional semis where they got beat by the eventual state champs, Miami East, who also happened to be number one again this year in the D3.
So does that mean if Anna would happen to win that game, they'll run into Miami East again?
Not quite yet. They've got to get into the regional semis. They'll play the winner of Fenwick, Middletown Fenwick, and Georgetown. Some people might know the coach from Fenwick. He's been seen around Russia a little bit. But the winner of that game will probably meet Miami East in the regional finals.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like an exciting weekend of volleyball coming up.
Sounds good, and great report from back here in the sound room.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our volleyball talk tonight. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some cross country, Ken, and we got that big interview coming up with Jessie Magoto. So stay right there. We'll be right back.
Raised by a single mother in the heart of the Midwest. She grew up, didn't have to struggle, cause her mom worked hard for everything they had. She never knew her father, only knew that he was gone. She would wake to her mother crying and an empty Bible laying on the floor. Yeah. Teen with open face, she was gonna leave this town, but she fell in love, had a son, now she's paying rent on an old farmhouse. Got a job in a factory downtown, pushing out on wheels. Now it's punch cards and blue bandanas and weekend streams for you and me. All the mornings they are dancing on this side of town. She lights a smoke, takes a talk, it's just another day of a fairy tale. Oh, it's just black coffee.
Welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. Ken, let's talk some cross country. We got that big interview coming up with Coach Magoto here in just a minute. But before we get to that, let's talk about the Troy Regional a little bit. Today on the website, I put a link to a blog that I wrote last year about why I like the Troy Regional so much. You know, for me, I guess it doesn't get any better than the state meet, but the Troy Regional comes pretty close, and I want to ask you your opinion on that.
You know, I think the state meet is a great place too, but Troy I think is better just simply because the venue that it offers, where it's so spectator friendly. You can see most of the race, and you got the top local talent, which year in and year out is right here in this regional. So you know, you've got kids competing to get to the state level and a great venue when there's tons of support from the parents and the fans. And not only that, Craig, that's one of the things I like about it. But the other thing I really like the way that they do the awards presentation at the Troy Regional, how they keep all the fans in suspense. They name the teams off from 16 all the way down to 1, and it just adds a lot of excitement to it and makes it a lot more fun. So Troy does a fantastic job, and congratulations to how they handle those meets.
Yeah, and it's such a fan-friendly course. You're basically from me to you, away from the runners, and you don't really get that at the state meet, but both meets are still fantastic and a lot of fun to watch. So.
They are, and one other thing I forgot to mention, you know, at Troy, you number one, you get in free.
That's always a bonus.
And number two, you can tailgate. So
yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
It sure is. Well, one of the teams that's going to be in the running in the girls' race is the Minster Wildcats. And on the phone right now, I believe we have the head coach of the girls' team, Coach Jessie Magoto. Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, first of all, congratulations on the great season you're having. You won a district title last Saturday. You're tied for number 1 in the state coaches poll right now. It just sounds like another typical Minster girls cross country season. But you started out the season on kind of a tough note, though. You lost one of your top returning seniors to an injury. I want you to go back to week 1 and tell me what your thoughts were regarding how good your team could be.
Well, it was a tough blow losing Natalie Fossey, our senior. She had been on 3 previous state cross-country teams and 3 state track teams. So she brought a lot of experience and talent to the team. So that was a tough blow for us. We did know, however, that we were getting plenty of talented incoming freshmen. In junior high, that freshman team, they went undefeated as 7th graders and 8th graders. So we did know we had a lot of young talent coming in, so we were optimistic.
All right, well, let's move ahead then and talk about the regional meet coming up this Saturday in Troy. Now, I think Minster had the option of going to either the Tiffin Regional or the Troy Regional, and I want to know, is there one course you'd like better than the other, or what goes into making that decision?
It is a really, really tough decision. Both courses are excellent courses, ran really well, but I just really try to look at what teams I think are going to go where, and just the ultimate goal is to be running in November and where we think we'll have the best shot. So when the number 1 and the number 3 seed team in the state chose to go to Tiffin, then Troy seemed like a better spot where the number 4 and number 5 team would be as far as the state rankings at the time. So go with the 1 and the 3 team, 3 being Coldwater, who had just beaten us, or go with the 4 and 5 team in the state. And as much as I wanted to go to Tiffin to be near our boys, realistically, on paper, I just needed to go where I thought we'd have the best shot, so we were racing in November.
Hi, Coach. This is Ken. And a couple weeks ago, we had the pleasure to talk to Liberty Center coach Tim Atkinson. And he explained to us how he prefers going to so many different venues each different week to face different teams and not continue to run into the same teams, something that happens a lot to local teams. Do you prefer yourself going to different races so you see different teams every week?
We definitely try to mix it up, going north some and south. After a while, it seems like you're seeing the same teams, and then you need to mix it up because all the teams are kind of, they try to do the same too, and then we all kind of end up going in the same direction. I also coach the junior high, so we really logistically kind of have to watch travel time and just, where the meets fall. So there's a whole scenario you have to look at, but we try to mix it up as much as we can.
One term we hear often in coaching cross country is tapering, and we're well into the tapering stages for most teams. How do the Minster Wildcats handle their tapering?
Year by year, it really depends on the team, and it depends on the age of the girls for me. Older runners, you got to handle a little different than younger runners. Obviously, the final race, if everybody can make it, you don't go any farther than November 3rd. So everyone chooses a taper just a little differently. And for me, there really is no set way. It's just how well I know the team. And older runners need a little different taper than a younger team. And we're looking at a pretty young team, so I have to handle it just a little different this year.
Coach, I've got one more question for you, and it's not cross-country related, but I had the opportunity to watch the Columbus Marathon on Sunday, and I was standing just before the 26-mile marker, and there you went by running a pretty nice time. So I'd like to congratulate you on your finish in the Columbus Marathon. And, one word for our listeners here, what motivates you to, and what gets you the time to train for a marathon while you're doing all this coaching and being a parent and working your job?
It's sanity, therapy. Definitely when I'm coaching my running, I try to go through what those girls go through. I try and still race, and for me it's in the way of a marathon. I try to mentally and physically put myself in a position what I put my girls through. So I always stay in contact with what they're going through, so I know kind of where they're at and what it takes. And just Columbus seems to fall at the right time when everything's hitting hard. It's a good time for me to put my body through a little bit of pain and feel what I put them through.
That's a great answer, Coach, by the way. And congratulations on a great season, and good luck to you guys on Saturday.
Hey,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, one last question, Coach. I want to get you one last question before we let you go. And I just want to say, with all the success that the Minster Girls Cross Country program has had, you've got 9 state titles and all. I want to ask, at what level does it start at Minster? I mean, do you encourage elementary running clubs? I mean, should kids wait until junior high to start running? Really, what's the right age to start running?
As far as really training, I definitely push junior high. But as far as getting kids interested and just enjoying the running, the elementary running clubs, I think most of the area communities do them. They're excellent. And it's not about the training. I don't know that we're going to get any more cross-country runners for it. It's more just getting kids active, loving the sport, knowing about running, and having a good time being active, which all kids, whether they're cross-country runners or not, they just need to do. So it's just an awesome addition, I think, that most of the area schools have picked up. And we do the same. We do ours in the spring, and it's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, that's great stuff, Coach. Hey, listen, thanks for joining us tonight on Fish Report Live, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday, okay?
Thank you, and good luck to Rushi also.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, that was the head coach of the Minster Wildcats, Jessie Magoto. Nice of her to join us, Ken. They, like I said at the beginning of the show, they're going to be one to look out for on Saturday.
They've got an extremely talented group of kids. I look at when they run each week, and I'm like, man, they got 10, 12 kids battling for 7 spots, and they're running 7 just in one big pack, and that makes it tough to beat.
All right. Well, do you care to make any predictions on Saturday?
No, I don't think I'm going to make any predictions on Saturday, Craig. I've got a little vested interest in this, and I think I'll stay away from that. But I will predict this, that your top 4 teams in no particular order are going to be the Redskins of Fort Loramie, Rushi Raiders, the Minster Wildcats, and the Big Orange West Liberty Salem Tigers on the girls' side.
Okay.
And on the boys' side, I'm going to have to go with Summit Country Day as a lock, I think, to win it. Versailles was very good. I think Versailles is going to get one of the 4 spots. In the other 2 spots, I think the favorites probably got to be Rushi and West Liberty Salem. But expect Marymount and Anna to battle those 2 schools for those 3rd and 4th spots.
Okay.
So,
and any individuals to look out for?
Individual on the boys' side, it's going to be a battle between Sam Prako of Versailles and Clayton Murphy of Tri-Village. And look for those 2 really to go at it. And probably, Sam probably has the edge on that one, but Clayton will be right there with him. On the girls' side, Craig, you've got a lot of good runners from Minster, West Liberty, Rushi that are going to be battling it, and all 3 of them schools got great front runners, and expect just a slew of them up front.
Well, those 2 boys you mentioned and some of those runners I think you're alluding to on the girls' side, I think we've pretty much had all of them as guests on this show at one time or the other. So.
Yeah, I think we have. And, one thing that's going to come into play is the weather. And there's nothing you can do about the weather. And everybody runs in the same wet, slop, rainy weather. But whoever can be the best mutters, I think, are going to come out on top.
Yeah, and how about that Division II girls race? I think last week we saw what's probably one of the best freshmen in the state of Ohio running for Oakwood, and she's going to be running again this Saturday, isn't she?
Yeah, Mary Kate Vaughn, one of the fastest freshmen actually in the country.
Yeah.
And that girl can flat out go get it. And another interesting, Craig, race is going to be the D3 race up in Tiffin this week, 1:30 on Saturday. The other big regional. What's your thoughts on that one?
I'm looking for a real battle between Coldwater and last year's state champs, the Liberty Center. Coldwater was second last year. Liberty Center was won last year. And I look for another battle between those two schools. Individual battle, you've got Sarah Caney from Coldwater, who ran the fastest time of any division last weekend at her district race. You've got Delaney Phelps from Toledo Christian. That's very good. And you've also got Brittany Atkinson, last year's defending state champ. And I think all three of those girls, weather permitting, all three of them could break 18. So heck of a battle. Wish I could see that one too.
That's right.
So, all right, Ken. Well, I think that's going to do it for our cross-country talk, unless we got any comments from the booth back there.
Yeah, one of the nice traditions I like about the Troy Regional, after watching a tough race, I like to go relax at Skyline for a nice 5-way. Helps me rejuvenate.
I should have expected that one.
I should have.
All right, well, let's get back to that trivia question, Ken. As we close the show, repeat that question for me again, and I'll give you my answer.
Okay, the trivia question was, name the only MAC school to win a boys state cross-country title.
And the choices were?
Coldwater, Fort Recovery, or Parkway.
All right. Well, for some reason, I'm going to go. I don't remember any boys winning a state title. I guess if it only happened once, that probably explains it. But I'm going to go with Coldwater. Going to guess they were probably a different division at the time. And maybe that's why I don't remember it.
Actually, you're wrong, Craig. The correct answer is Fort Recovery. 1996, the Indians took the Division III state cross-country title. And what was interesting about that is they snapped a two-year run. The defending two-time state champions were the Dean Stewart-led Anna Rockets, who had won it 2 consecutive years in 94 and 95.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I learned something tonight. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for our show tonight. No T-shirts to hand out tonight, but I do notice you're wearing the same T-shirt that I am tonight.
Yes, one of our good listeners gave us these T-shirts, and they say, no excuses, cross-country.
Heck of a motto.
Yeah, heck of a motto. So it could say no excuses cross country, no excuses volleyball, I guess, tonight, because that's what our show is about.
That's right. All right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight, Ken. I want to say special thanks again to our guests, Todd Wion and Jessie Magoto, for joining us tonight. Also, special thanks to the viewers again for tuning in. Ken and I and the crew will be back again next week, same time, same place. And we hope to see some of you in Troy this Saturday, whether it's for cross country or volleyball. Hope to see you and hope to have a good day in sports. So that's all for us. Good night, everyone.
From Studio F in Russia, Ohio, for Ken Francis, Craig Kissinger, and TK, this is Heavy D, signing off, saying good night and good fishing.